Hi, good evening. It's March 27th, 2009. It's Friday morning, and Trinity here is unable to sleep. It's actually 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning, and I've decided to do a video this morning and talk about uh, the recent shorting of gold that has happened at the COMEX, and basically it's clear that where does 1.2 million ounces come from? I mean, who sells gold when the Federal Reserve um, just announced that they're going to buy up treasuries and monetize the debt and just start printing money, $1.2 trillion of money, and then they sell 1.2. Someone sells, yeah, I think I better sell 1.2 million ounces of gold because that's not going to be worth anything, right? Because they're just printing the money. Yeah, okay. Anyways, obviously, the only people that would do that is the people who have invested interest in the dollar, and that's banking industry and the government, the federal government of the United States. So I mean, this game of the dollar will go on as long as people don't realize that gold and silver is being manipulated. I mean, the truth is, people as smart as Jim Rogers don't believe that gold and silver is manipulated, and until those people don't. Until those people really stop believing the fairy tales that they're reading in newspapers and start saying, hey, well, you know what? Wait a minute, let me take a look into this, right? I mean, Jim Rogers always says, do your homework, right? When you invest in anything, and I'm shocked that this man hasn't done his homework in gold and silver to see that. Well, wait a minute. There's numerous videos of what's it called, Federal Reserve chiefs talking about how they would sell gold or convince other countries to sell gold to help suppress the price. I mean, does that not count as manipulation? I mean, how could you not say that? That's not manipulation. It doesn't make any sense.
Don't worry, guys.
Anyways, a few other questions that people have asked me is that what do we do with the gold and silver when there's no money? Well, first off, right, when a stock tanks, it doesn't go to completely zero. It goes to a lesser value, but you can still buy and sell the stock. The dollar would be pretty much the same thing. Yes, it will go down in value rapidly, but there'll still be clearing out of trades, or in our example, people who have debt will be able to clear those debts off, and then obviously as those debts cleared off, the money will be velocity of money will move a lot faster. Now, one more thing I'd like to talk about. You're funny. Anyways, is that the truth. Basically, I'd like to talk about the odds of this gold and silver not being money and not being valuable, right? If I throw a ball into the air, right, is there a probability that it will not land on the ground? It will not come back down? Sure. I mean, there could be a nuclear explosion in the time that I threw the ball up, and then the ball will never land. There could be, you know, I don't know, the universe ends or something like that. But in each case, right, yes, it's possible that there is a possibility that the ball will not come down, but it's not probable, right? The same with silver. I mean, yeah, sure, there's a possibility that one day it might not be valuable in the future, right? But it's not probable, right? It's the probability is extremely low. What could possibly happen is that the massive population is removed from the planet, and obviously, if there's less population, there's less people to command a demand on gold and silver. Another possibility is that an asteroid comes and wipes out a small section of population, but it's all gold and silver. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's an infinite amount of crazy possibilities, but they're not likely, right? So that's why you have a good probability that this will always have value, and an increasing probability that that the dollar will go to zero. It's amazing that in Hawaii, I've talked to quite a few people about the not the monetary system, but just talk to them in general to just get the feel of how they felt about the dollar and stuff like that. And the main thing when I told people that I was buying gold and silver was they said that, why would you do that? It doesn't earn any interest. And it saddens me, because I'd point out that, you know what, every single religion on this planet tells us not to collect interest on our money because it's mathematically not possible. And yet our whole monetary system is based on that, basically a usury system where, you know, everybody's trying to chase after some sort of interest payment. I mean, interest income, in order to keep up with not only inflation, but to generate an income. And this is not viable at all. I mean, how could you have $15 trillion worth of money out there, and everyone trying to gain interest on that? It's just not possible, right? It's mathematically impossible, as you've seen if you've watched my other videos where I've described how if you had 1 ounce of gold and you just required 2% interest on that 1 ounce of gold in 6,000 years, you'd have every ounce, every particle in the universe. You'd own it, and it would all be gold. I mean, that's an example of how it's not possible. So we've started off, of course, with trillions of dollars, and I mean, the same math applies whether you start with one or trillions. So eventually, this will end. This will collapse on itself and by its own weight, and I don't know when. You know what? I've seen a lot of videos. I saw some really good videos when I was on vacation. A lot of rants. I love the rants from You Were Out of Time, where he talked about he didn't know what's going to happen, and that's the truth, right? I don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. We can guess, and most likely we're going to be wrong. But there are certain things that we're not going to be wrong on, right? Because the probability is extremely low, like the value of gold and silver. So that's all I have to say for tonight. Thank you for listening.